This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Thursday, May 8, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, a Canadian expert joins the investigation into Adriana Younge's death as the police force clarifies her autopsy findings. Over 2,000 speeding tickets are issued in the first month of the new traffic system rollout, the traffic chief says.
Now you are made to be principally responsible for your actions.
The new missing persons protocols are already yielding results. A 24-hour national prayer for Guyana begins at midnight. In tonight's feature, we bring you Jennifer's journey from pain to power, titled Built from Bruises. And in sport, Guyana women secure spot in women's T20 Blaze final and three-stage cycling set from May 17 to 18. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you could join us. First up, the tragic death of 11-year-old Adriana Younge, whose body was discovered in a hotel swimming pool in Tushan on April 24, has led to national outcry and demand for justice. In response, the government of Guyana has appointed Leonard Makoshan, a seasoned retired officer of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, to assist with the ongoing investigation. With over 3 decades of experience, including 20 years in the RCMP's Serious Crimes Branch, Mark Koshen brings extensive expertise in homicide and suspicious death investigations. His involvement aims to ensure a thorough and transparent probe into the circumstances surrounding Younge's untimely death. Concurrently, the Guyana Police Force has issued a statement to address public concerns and clarify the findings of the autopsy. Preliminary forensic results conducted by international pathologists chosen by the deceased family indicate no evidence of sexual assault or traumatic injury. The cause of death has been determined to be drowning. The police force emphasized that the preliminary findings were disclosed by the family's legal representative and medical doctor and not by the police. They also noted that a toxicology analysis is underway overseas and a final report will be issued upon its completion. This development comes amid widespread public interest and scrutiny, with many calling for accountability and transparency in the investigation process. The appointment of an international expert and the clarification of the autopsy findings are steps towards addressing these concerns and ensuring justice for Adriana Younge. The investigation remains ongoing, with authorities committed to uncovering all facts surrounding this case. We tell you now that more than 2,000 speeding tickets were issued within the first month of the automated electronic ticketing system coming into effect, according to Traffic Chief Assistant Commissioner Mahendra Singh. The automated speed ticketing system was officially implemented on April 7 to detect and issue tickets for speeding violations. With the new system, when a traffic offense is committed, the vehicle owner is issued a ticket. The traffic chief on Thursday stated that even though the vehicle owner is held responsible, the person driving the vehicle at the time can also be taken to court.
The 2,000 I speak of is tickets that have already been generated and disseminated to the offenders. Road safety was a backbone issue for motor vehicle owners. Now you are made to be principally responsible for your actions. You are the owner, you are liable, you are responsible. The amendment to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act references this Safe Road Intelligence System. The driver is also responsible. The date on the ticket which is reflected for the appearance in court to contest the ticket, that owner must take the driver with them to court and or inform the court if they don't take the driver, so that the magistrate is so informed as to who was driving at the time.
Okay.
That person now will be made a co-defendant in the matter. Liability rests with that person at the time, unless and until the person is produced. If he or she is not produced as the driver at the time, the liability rests with the owner. This is a means by which the owner now is made to understand and be more aware. You can't operate willy-nilly as you previously did. The importance of the system is that it enables us to also recognize other offenses committed. Prohibition of tinted glass, based on what you see physically in front of you. also obscure ID marking. When these are recognized, we address them by a few ways. The vehicles travel all roadways. We also utilize the system to recognize procedurally who the registered owner is, and or we proceed to summon them. Summon them in such a way that they produce the vehicles for an examination by a licensed and certifying officer. Therein now the physical examination establishes the offences that they are committed, and or we proceed to deal with them, be it charge for court and or a ticket if it is warranted.
Okay.
That is ongoing. The level of success is not minimal, but more smart traffic management. It's less conflicting with the public, and it also takes away from the ability of us rendering a poor quality of service as we are usually accused of. So here now there is no, the usual thing in the public where we are sometimes seen as in we are engaged in conflicts and it is escalated. This system helps us to reduce that now.
In the wake of 11-year-old Adriana Younge's tragic death, newly adopted emergency procedures by the Guyana Police Force have led to the successful resolution of 3 missing person cases. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips confirmed that these changes mark the beginning of meaningful reform as the government rolls out updated protocols that prioritize immediate response over the previously mandated 24-hour delay. The revised approach is coordinated through a nationwide multi-agency system aimed at improving outcomes in such critical cases.
I can assure you that we've already started discussion with our security cooperation partners aimed at getting whatever support, whatever assistance in conducting the inquiry, and also in helping us to progress with the reform measures of the police force coming out of an incident like this. At home, we've already made some changes. And you're quite aware that, on the books we had this standing operating procedure where 24 hours would have had to pass before, you take any major action on receiving a missing person report. As it is now, we have changed that. Immediately on receipt of a missing person report, the police is now obligated to take action. And not only act alone, but act in an interagency setting with all the other agencies that will able to assist in, like bringing closure or finding the solution, whether it will be rescuing the person or whether it will have to be a recovery operation. And we have seen since that change, incidentally that change took place on a weekend. And since that change, we had 3 incidents of missing person reports, and we were able to solve all 3 cases. So the reform has already started as a result of this incident, but of course there are greater and more strategic things to be done, and we will work with our security partner at the right time, having tied up the arrangements and the commitments from our security cooperation partners. We will make that available to the public as to who are the agencies.
A 24-hour nationwide prayer event titled Hope is Rising is set to commence at 12:01 a.m. on Friday as Guyana at home and abroad unite in worship, intercession, and national reflection. The initiative is led by Guyanese American evangelist Joe Prasad with support from Scott Camp and Jesse Rima. The prayer event arrives at a pivotal moment as the nation grieves the tragic death of 11-year-old Adriana Younge and prepares for both local elections later this year and ahead of Venezuela's illegal vote concerning Guyana's Essequibo region. At the press conference held Thursday at the National Cultural Center, Prasad outlined the purpose and heart of the event, emphasizing that Hope is Rising is not a political event, but a spiritual one. Christians from across denominations and countries are being called to stand together in unity and faith for Guyana.
Guyana is in a moment of grief, pain, and we send our condolences to the Young family and to the father and mother and the grieving relatives. We're here to pray and lift up that family. And so we came here in the name of God for the peace of the nation of Guyana, We want people to know, if you look at the flanks of the people even here and what will be represented tomorrow, every nation, every region, it's a call for prayer, worship, and we're going to make some, not me only, but leaders from the Baptists, the Assemblies of God, the Full Gospel, the Nazarene, at least we invited them. Whether they come, it's up to them. But we want them to come and let the people see them. They're leaders here. This is it's not Pastor Joe. As a matter of fact, I may slip out and not speak at all. It's about them. I want them to lead a moment of unity, a moment of peace for this country.
We would like to take this to Trinidad and Tobago.
Amen.
So I'm very happy to be a part of this occasion, if you want to call it a historic occasion. But I believe that great things are going to happen, and you don't want to miss it. It's a time of prayer, it's a time of worship, and it's a time of great fellowship. Amen. We look forward in seeing you. God.
Again, the success of what's going on here is not going to be measured by what happens on the stage. It's going to be measured the day after.
Yes.
So even though certain people don't show, they are not going to take away anything from what God is doing. So this is prayer, and the success of prayer is measured by the God who answers.
God is interested in Guyana. And because Jesus loves Guyana, and we who are called by his name, we have humbled ourselves and we're praying, we're seeking God's face. We've turned from our bad ways. We know that the Lord will hear us from heaven and he will heal our land. Healing starts now. This is the beginning of healing. By first confronting the darkness and inviting the light of God to come back into our nation. And that light is going to shine brighter tomorrow because we're coming together. You see, as one candle can only give a small area light. But if all the lights come together, man, the whole nation will be set on light and ablaze for Jesus.
We're grateful that we're a part of the mission, and God says, his word says that he will give you beauty for your ashes. Guyana will have beauty for their ashes, but it takes each and every one of us to come together as a nation. Where 2 and 3 are gathered, he's in the midst. So we're calling on all intercessors, we're calling on all prayer warrior, no matter where you are in the world. If you're in your bathroom, in the shower, pray. If you're in the kitchen, pray. If you're cooking, pray. God answers prayers. God answers prayers. So today we ask you, along with this entire group and the thousands of other, every single one of your voice will count. Let us tear down heaven doors with prayer. Let's intercess for Guyana today so we can have beauty for ashes tomorrow.
Still to come, we bring you Jennifer's journey from pain to power, titled Built from Bruises. this is the Newsroom. From humble beginnings in Guyana to becoming a self-made millionaire in the United States, Jennifer Rampersad is a woman on a mission. Entrepreneur, minister, developer, chaplain, financial advisor, and author, Jennifer proudly wears many hats. But at her core, she is a proud Guyanese woman determined to empower others, particularly fellow migrants, to transform adversity into opportunity. Through her work as a financial educator and media personality, she's helped thousands across America and now has her sights set firmly in Guyana, particularly Region 6 and Bruises. That's where Lorraine's Legacy Foundation comes in, a heartfelt initiative named after her late mother and grandmother, both of whom inspired her entrepreneurial spirit.
Leaving Guyana at 13 years old, humble beginnings. My dad left 3 years before we did. So he was in America before us, went to America. At 16 years old, I started college and I found out about credit. And that was the light bulb. That was the thing that transformed my life. And I'm not only founder and CEO, I'm also a client and a repeated offender. So my credit has fell because life happens. And I fixed my credit on my own using the laws. So I decided to open a credit repair company. I've been doing credit for over 27 years, but I also maintain my regular work, my regular job in the health fair. I was the director of a hospital, director of a nursing home, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So at the same time of having a 9-to-5, I also did mortgages, real estate, and credit repair. I believe in multiple sources of income. If you want to build generational wealth, it will have to be multiple sources of income. So everybody be like, me can't buy a house, me to get the income, me to get the credit. But guess what? I enable you not just by telling you about it. I can fix your credit or bill your credit. If you come to America, whether you come off the boat, off the plane, you drop off a bird, doesn't matter how you got there. Once you have a Social Security number, I can bill your credit. I can help you get a loan to purchase. You have to have a job now, but the steps are there. I'm not just telling you about it. I'm actually giving you the tools. So I got married really young. I was in an abusive marriage, and my husband not only abused me physically, but assaulted me financially as well. When I decided and found the strength to move on, everything was in my name because I built my credit young. And he parked the car and threw the keys in the beach. And that made me have now a judgment against my name. Not only that, life happened. One day I got a call from my daughter's doctor's office, and they said, "Are you the primary parent?" I said, going to go in your name. My ex-husband decided to cancel the insurance, so now I had thousands of dollars of bills in her name. Other than that, Sandy. When Sandy hit, my home was destroyed 100%. The beach met the bay at my house. I rebuilt because the house, when I went through my divorce, it was in my dad's name. So I rebuilt using a loan, not what the government gave. And a year and a half after, my house burnt down. After my house burned down, I have to rebuild again. But it didn't stop me. I'm here for my people overall, but I'm here for the ones that are the underdogs, the ones that does not have a voice. My mother passed away almost 3 years ago, and my grandmother couldn't live without her, so she decided I'm not eating anymore. And I formed Lorraine's Legacy. But my grandmother was the first entrepreneur, Miss Baby. She started riding her bicycle and selling milk with these big metal cans. And then after that, she bought a Range Rover and hired a man because she wasn't allowed to drive. And she started a milk business, and she owned a property in New Amsterdam with 5 houses. And then she tore 2 down. And then she built a botanical garden where she made wreaths and she made flowers. So my goal is to have Lorraine Legacy help the underdogs, help the people that don't have voice. I want to help with the mental health that is not spoken about. I want to help to the women and children that are being abused. I want to help with the suicide that's happening. I want to help in so many financial literacy.
enabling our people, because it all lies in here. It lies in the inner me. And sometimes we just need someone to speak to. I want to counsel. I want to be able to help our people have a voice. The ones that are victims, help them to be survivors.
The Caribbean Community CARICOM is now actively considering a legal approach Guyana adopted over 2 decades ago, Guyana's Attorney General Arnold Nandlall revealed Tuesday night, touting Guyana's legislative foresight in treating violent public unrest as acts of terrorism. Speaking during his weekly Issues in the News commentary, Nandlall said, CARICOM has begun exploring legislative measures to combat rising violent crime in the region, including gang violence and indiscriminate shootings, by designating such acts as terrorism. According to him, this mirrors legislation Guyana implemented following the deadly crime wave of 2002.
Now, you know that at the Caribbean level, we are dealing with criminal violence, which at the level of CARICOM's leadership, at the leadership level of CARICOM, they have deemed it a public health hazard. They have deemed it that it's endemic in the Caribbean, gang violence and all the other things. And they have set up different committees to look at various measures to address the issue of violent crimes in the Caribbean. At the CARICOM level, they are now going to do what we did in 2002. We are 22 years or more ahead of CARICOM on this matter, because we have inserted since 2002 into our criminal law legislation a provision that deals with terrorist act in public places. That is what the CARICOM is now moving into. We are 22 years ahead of them. So those who are saying that this is the wrong charge, I say to you that CARICOM is emulating Guyana in this regard. And we are proud to lead by example on this matter, as we are leading on so many fronts in the Caribbean and elsewhere.
A fresh chapter in hospitality and tourism has begun in the Mabaruma Settlement, Region 1, with the official opening of the Banobu Guest House. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell this week commissioned the guest house.
The Bonobo Guest House was officially commissioned during a simple ceremony this week with Minister of Housing and Water and Region 1 Parliamentary Representative Colin Crowell. Among those present were also Regional Chairman Brentnell Ashley, Regional Vice Chairperson Anansha Peters, and Regional Executive Officer Mr. Sue Chand. During his remarks, Minister Crowell commended the CDC for their leadership and initiative, noting that the project stands as a shining example for other villages.
I want you to be able to share your experiences here, because you can be an example, you can be a motivation for many of the villages, including here in Mabaruma.
Funded through the Low Carbon Development Strategy, LCDS grant at a cost of approximately $63.5 million, the facility boasts 10 rooms, a spacious kitchen, storage areas, and a balcony. It is designed to boost the hospitality offerings in the region while promoting sustainable development.
What we want to achieve, this is community funding. This is for you. You have earned this. And so therefore what we want you to think about is projects, programs, things that will bring economic benefit, that will be futuristic and be lasting, gaining employment, but more importantly, it shows based on your capacity or what your strength that you have in your village, it shows that yes, you can play your part.
Regional Chairman Ashley shared similar sentiments, highlighting the government's commitment to hinterland development through initiatives such as the LCDS funds that empower communities and stimulate sustainable economic progress.
Is that when the project gets going and start generating revenues and so forth, well, in turn from the proceeds or profits that are made out of this facility can now go back to help in the social welfare and development of the people in the community.
In addition to the guest house, a new $6 million bakery was also commissioned in the same compound, aimed at promoting the production of more local products. Reporting for the newsroom, Lizina Yearwood.
Over 200 residents living at Region 1, Barima Riney, received solar panels as part of the government's Hinterland electrification program. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell visited the region this week when the distribution was conducted, and he urged the residents to utilize this initiative and the funds earned from the low carbon development strategy to benefit their respective communities. The government's ongoing efforts to expand access to renewable energy in hinterland communities aims to enhance energy security and improve the quality of life for residents in remote areas. Residents of the communities that benefited during this round of the distribution said the program improving the lives of hinterland citizens by providing access to electricity for households beyond the regional power supply, which follows a schedule.
The solar, it is very helpful because sometimes the current that we get from the generator at Mabruma, sometimes it just be like on and off. So when the solar now would come and help us with light, and then some children they are accustomed to the fan and so on, so that at night it helps a lot, and also with the light. Especially in the night where they have their study and schoolwork, it will benefit them a lot.
What we've been recommending is that you look at projects, you look at programs, you look at initiatives for your village at a community level. You have to meet, because it's FPIC you have to practice, which means free, prior, and informed consent. You have to consent on how you'll spend the resources. But we've been guiding villages that to come up with the things that can have economic venture, earnings for the village. And likewise, where you see certain support that is needed, then you also can do that.
The reach of the Labour Ministry's Occupational Safety and Health Training and Edifying Initiative has expanded to far-flung communities, with the ministry focusing on educating persons now entering the workforce. During an interview with the newsroom on Wednesday, the ministry's OSH consultant Gwyneth King said that for the Occupational Safety and Health Month, observed in April, the ministry targeted the workplaces beyond Region 4. This meant areas saturated with work sites that required due diligence for operations were targeted during these outreaches.
We've had a number of outreaches in Region 2, the Pomeroon River and those areas. We've had outreaches in Region 5. We've had outreaches in Region 6, Oriala. So we have tried to encourage those persons in the agriculture sector, the schools in those communities and the areas that we practice, we have the outreaches done. We have them, we encourage them, sensitize them about safety and health. One of the things that we wanted to do and we would like to do is this school to work transition, whereby 5th formers or 6th formers, we have do some sessions with them so that when they get into the world of work, because they will get there, when they get there, they know what is expected of them.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us.
At Macorp, we're celebrating our 100th 320GX milestone sale. Enjoy 15% off the 320GX and the 320 Next Gen excavator.
Welcome back to the newsroom. In tonight's sport news, we start things off with some cricket action. Guyana women continue their dominant run in the women's T20 Blaze, defeating Trinidad and Tobago by 8 wickets at the Arnos Vales ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Wednesday evening. Details in this report.
Guyana's fourth consecutive win saw them dismiss Trinidad and Tobago for a paltry 35, the lowest total of the tournament, before reaching 37 for 2 in just 6.3 overs. Guyana's decision to bowl first paid dividend as they bowlers ripped through the Trinidad and Tobago's batters. Shanata Gridman went for 3 for 5, Ashmini Munisar was stellar again with 2 for 2, including 3 maidens, and Plafiana Miniton also contributed 2 for 10. No batter from Trinidad and Tobago reached double figures. In reply, Guyana made a short work of the chase despite losing Liliana Grimman for 3 and Mandy Margru for 6. Shamika Gadshami, 14 not out, and Shemaine Campbell, the skipper, saw Guyana home comfortably. The win strengthens Guyana's position at the top of the table, while Trinidad and Tobago suffered their second loss. Guyana currently leads with 33 points, followed by Jamaica on 23 points, Leeward Islands on 21 points, Trinidad and Tobago on 20 points, the Windward Islands on 19 points, and Barbados on 4 points. Guyana's final preliminary matches against Jamaica on Friday at Arnos Vale starting at 14 hours 30. With the top 2 finishers short for Guyana, they will play in the final on Sunday at 18 hours.
Following the excitement of the Big Bash League BBL 14, the Hobart Hurricanes will compete in the Global Super League this July. From 10 to 18 of April 2025, the Hobart Hurricanes will compete in this T20 tournament in Guyana against 4 other teams from around the globe, aiming to become the champions of the second iteration of the GSL. The other confirmed teams to date are New Zealand's Central Stags, Bangladesh defending champions Rangpur Riders, and the Guyana Amazon Warriors. The timing of the tournament in the Caribbean allows the Hurricanes to send a strong team to the GSL, which is played during the Australian domestic off-season and starts after the Major League Cricket T20 competition in the United States. Ben McDormand of the Hurricanes had this message.
Ben McDermott here. I'm excited to announce that the Hobart Hurricanes will be travelling to Guyana to compete in the Guyana Super League this July. Can't wait to be back in purple.
The Guyana Basketball Federation is sending a team of under 23 players and a coach to Paraguay for a high-performance 3x3 training camp from June 9 to 30. Through the Guyana Olympic Association's Memorandum of Understanding with the Paraguayan Olympic Committee, which was signed in preparation for the Junior Pan Am Games from August 9 to the 23. Willan Cameron, a physical education teacher at President's College, with a degree in sports coaching from the University of the West Indies and a FIFA Level 2 certification, will coach the team. The Guyana Cycling Federation, GCF, in partnership with the National Sports Commission, NSC, is gearing up to host the 42nd edition of the highly anticipated Independence 3-stage road race scheduled for May 17 to the 18th.
A GCF official revealed that this year's edition will revisit the race's traditional routes where possible from its formative years, aiming to test the riders' endurance and tactical skills on familiar yet demanding terrain. Stage 1 will commence from Corriverton and cover approximately 40 miles, winding through the scenic countryside before concluding in New Amsterdam. Stage 2 will feature a road from Burby's Bridge at the Edward Village and finish on Carifesta Avenue or at the National Infectious Disease Hospital at Liniendal. The final destination is still to be determined pending an assessment of the Carifesta Avenue, which is currently undergoing expansion work. In a notable departure from recent years for Stage 2, which primarily saw riders on the main roads along the West Berbice and East Coast corridor, this edition will return to a deviation through the villages of Maikoni and Mahaika, traversing the old roads. The total distance for the second stage is projected to be around 62 miles. Due to ongoing construction on Linden-Suzik Highway, the third and final stage will be contested as a circuit race on the east bank of Demerara. The circuit will be starting from Eccles Dumpside Road, heading west, and they will turn left in the direction of Red Road in Providence before looping back to Heroes Highway. Each lap is approximately 2 miles, with riders expected to complete 30 laps, totaling 60 miles. Last year, Brighton John dominated the race, claiming the title with a flawless performance, winning all 3 stages and accumulating 45 points. The GCF official also highlighted that a strong field is expected, with many of Guyana's top riders set to compete. Additionally, teams from Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname are anticipated to participate, elevating the race's regional significance.
Thursday evening's IPL 2025 match in Dharamsala between Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals was called off midway due to a significant technical failure at the stadium. A statement by the Board of Cricket Control in India explained that one of the light towers at the HPCA stadium malfunctioned due to a power outage in the area. After Punjab opted to bat, only 10.1 overs of the first innings were played in the game. The match was halted as 3 floodlight towers went off around 21:29 hours India time. Around 11 minutes later, it was learned that the match had been called off. And with that, we've come to the end of this newscast. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Kurt Campbell saying thank you.